All right. It is the third anniversary tournament, and I'm today is Monday. It's in Monday's practice round, and I'm going to go out there and try out some different stuff. Some of these holes I'm trying, like right here in the practice round with both accounts today. I'm trying to do different shots on them. There's some of these holes that we just have one way of going at them, but I am trying some different stuff. Like on this first par three, I'm trying to do a rough bump on it. There is a very sliver of a spot down there, and the wind is blowing this way, and our rough is like this. So we've got to make an absolutely perfect rough bump. I made the rough bump on hole number one. Let's go look at it. Hole number one. All these images are brought to us by GC Dez. He posts them up on our Facebook page, the Kings of Golf Facebook page. Helps us out. He lives in New Zealand, so he gets stuff. He gets stuff before we do, so we can get a look at them. Helps out with the text, the walkthroughs, and gives me an opportunity. It takes a while to go through, dig through the playlists, and find some of these holes. All right, hole number one. I'm trying. So the wind is blowing. I played in my low level account. The wind is blowing. We have a pure tailwind here. And I've shot in this area with pretty much every club in the bag, and it's a racetrack type of deal, and it's low percentage. But what I'm trying to do is a rough bump on that little teeny bit of rough here. So here's your ring, and that rough is like that big. So you have a little bit of room for maneuver. It would be better here for us if the wind was blowing from the left or the right, because you could, if you made a bad wind adjustment, you're off over here, but you're still in the band. So with this type of wind, it would have to be an absolutely spot on wind adjustment in order to catch that fairway. Because if you're a little short, you're going to or if you overpull, you're going to be in the sand and you're going to have to maneuver over the sand, and that's going to affect how the ball gets played. And then if you get pushed forward too much, you're going to hit that, and you have to put some topspin on it, and you're going to end up going for a wild ride. So I'm not sure that I'm willing to take the risk for this, but I'm going to practice this. Under tournament wind conditions, just to see what the deal is. I know I have this shot in the bag, and I know that this is a low percentage shot, but we're there every time. But at least for today, in both my 77 and my odd account, I'm going to practice this shot. So that's the goal here. I want to bring a low wind ball, and I'm going to bring shooting with a wood. So I'm going to bring my QB or a rock. I'm not sure which one. And I'm going to bring a marlin ball and see if that puts me right on my red line down there. So before I took the shot with an Apocalypse, and I just did it was at minimum club, so I played it at 2.0 per ring. And I just did a full wind adjustment, no add-on, no nothing, and I was just able to clip it. So that's exactly what I'm going to try here. So I'm going to add on 25% onto the rings. So I'm going to do a 1.25 wind adjustment per ring with that QB. And let's see if we can catch it. I'm willing to explore some different approaches to these cups, but I'm not willing to explore them at the risk of putting my birdie here in jeopardy. So while I'm practicing this shot today, the likelihood that I will use it in the tournament right at this moment is pretty low, just because of the way the wind's blowing. The last few tournaments we've been here, we've had kind of a forward moving wind, but it's been moving from the left to the right. Or excuse me, from the right to the left. And it's pretty easy to adjust out when you're doing the shot that my opponent's doing. See if they can catch that perfect. Hitting it perfect. And they tried to put on a little bit of curl on it. They needed to be farther forward with the way they set that shot up so they could get the roll around back to the cup. Marlin. So that is going to be just in the middle of that rough area. Let's see if I can get back here where I can see the cup. I'm going to dial it right to the cup. So it's 1.25. So there's 2.5. That leaves me 4. And that's about a quarter. So 2 1/4 rings. Trying to hit perfect. Oh, I hit it way good. I got some lag right there. That's what happens when you hit the rough. When you hit too far, that's where you'll end up. So that's risk number 1, is that you'll miss that shot going forward. And I won't be able to get any kind of a read on that because the fairway, I think it comes in on the right-hand side. So like if you take the arc out there, if you hit great to the right, you're actually hitting into the green. This is why we come out and practice on Monday. This is why Monday's practice round is so important, because we can go out here and we can try some of these shots and we can take shots like this so that we can get used to having to try and recover, have confidence. We can get that done. I don't have confidence I can get this done, I can tell you that. It's going to roll, slope down, and get pushed back. Go right on the edge of the outside of the cup. Yeah. Hit it good again. Laggy. That's because there's so much slope on that hill when you're out there. Even if I hit that perfect, I'm not sure that I wouldn't have sloped off the cup. Good practice hole. That gets that out of my system. So I know you definitely don't want to hit good. You definitely want to have a good connection and not be doing the deal. Let's go look at that cup. I want to look at that. Show you what I'm talking about on the green here. Wish I could get a little closer. See if I can get close enough in here. Now where I'm coming in at, that was a bad wind adjustment. If I hit that on the arc great to the left or the right, I should have still been able to clip that rough. So on this particular shot, it would have been beneficial to do the 10%. I'll have to take this again. I'm going to do a practice round in my 77 account. And I know if this is the first time you've watched these videos when I'm doing these practice rounds, if you're looking for pure demos of the shot, we're still trying to make sure that we know going into our qualifying round what we're going to do under tournament conditions. So it's super important to practice on Monday. Super important. I do think if you're going to take the shot from over here, either be farther back or be farther forward. So if you're farther forward, you're using a lot of backspin and it's a curl shot, and you can do max curl so you can adjust your placement to try and work out closer to the cup. If you're back here, you can finesse a little bit more, but keep working. Still got work to do on that hole. I've only hit that once. I've taken that shot, that rough bump 3 times, and I've hit it 1 out of 3 times. So that's not good. Okay, that was hole number 1 of the 3rd anniversary tournament and Monday's practice round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.